Hello and welcome in the IBP series powered by Camnot. Long time no see since last December, so I've been very busy with RFP answering and whatever other trainings I'm giving in IBP. Today, just to restart the video, let me introduce some advanced settings about the planning view setting and particularly the IBP formatting sheet. Let's see that directly in the system. So now let's say I wish to play with the color management of this particular view where I'm showing here currently actual quantities with -1, 2, 3, and even the consensus demand plan being published. And now I wish to have some color on the top. I wish to have some color for the key elements and also some colors depending the key figure is editable or not and so on. To do so, what you should be doing is invoke the view format. If the view format was not yet existing in your workbook, it will be introduced by the add-in, like it is currently. Here we have a IBP formatting sheet that helps you managing the formatting by different sections. So the first one is the default formatting, where you can say what are the default color for the for the data versus the header. This is the data section, this is the header section, this is a header section. Okay? And the system distinguishes between the row and the column. In other words, distinguish between the row, the data, and the header from the column perspective, sorry, and the data and the header from the row perspective. And you can define which applies first, meaning is it the row to take over the column, because at some point you may have, as you can see here, the same cells here being concerned by the fact that it is in column J and also in row 17. And therefore, if I want this one to be, say, yellow, I can decide to go by the row and say, I wish that to be yellow. Let's say yellow. Okay, and don't forget the apply. Okay, and apply here in the sections. And if I want this one to be, the header of the row to be another color, for instance, the brown. Now I am expecting that the result is, when I do the refresh, it's turning to be yellow and brown. So apparently the brown came from the header, but not from the data perspective. And the question is why? Because of the priority. Because that one comes first, and then the system goes down, applying a kind of a priority to the formatting. And it could find this one, but has overwritten this formatting from the column perspective versus the yellow one. So in other words, I place the yellow here, or I review the priority to be row first. You see now the row definition is at the bottom of this section and will apply the last, therefore the most priority. Let's see that. If I now refresh, I have everything yellow and my column and my row header is still brown. Now, if I want my row header to be brown and my column header to be another color, let's say I want another color like a nice blue. Oops, it's going to be a terrible result. Now refresh. I've got the blue on top, I've got the brown and the yellow. And again, the conflict may happen not because of the header. Header is quite obvious that the header of a column is the top row, and the header of the row are the left columns. But from the data perspective, there is a conflict here. There is a competition between these two cells. And if I say here, I want that to be a red, for instance, or say green. In fact, as the yellow is below the green, it will win. It should normally win. Let's see that. And it wins. If I come back here and say either, again, inverse the formatting like it is shown here, or just review the priority, say this is the column first. So now the green is at the bottom and therefore applies. and now the green is coming. So now you better understand the disposition in the formatting sheet where you should be placing your different color or whatever conditional formatting. Now, let's leave this section, which is default formatting for all key figures. And by the way, let's say I even don't consider the section. So if I do so, this will not be anymore colored. Should not be. Why is it still? Because in the other topic, advanced topics about IBP formatting sheet, is about the options that you have. So here in the options, it's a very important element. You can say, by the way, display clear planning view before applying dynamic formatting, which is not happening currently. Therefore, the previous formatting was kept. Now, if I say, please clear everything, now by refreshing, everything disappears effectively. So it starts again from scratch and build up the color according to the formatting sheet. Now, let's say in my example, I've got the two same contents here for the two sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2. They are both showing the same data, but I wish in this one, say, to be blue, whereas in this one, to be yellow. I wish to be yellow color. So let's say now, yellow, so member and property formatting, it's another way to do the formatting of each individual cells based on the content of the header, being the column header or the row header. So let's say I want to apply this section, okay? And in this one, say by the maximum priority still, the priority row and column is valid here. And say for the column, I want to have the default formatting for non-editable cell. Yes, so meaning if in the database we have configured the key figure not to be editable, that is about this one. I want the data, again, the data cell to be, I said yellow. I want to be yellow, okay, and say this one, the column header will be slightly brown. Okay, go back to the yellow, and then refresh, and all of a sudden the top row is brown and the cells are yellow. And again, for the same reason, if I play with the row header at the same time for still the same properties of the key figure, but now I say I want that to blue or to another yellow. Let's say let's keep yellow tendency, that one. Now the yellow will apply to the row. The data cells first applies the no color, but when browsing through the valid rules, it will find this one and will override the white with the yellow one, and also will tint that as a brown. Let's see that. Refresh. Perfect. I like it like that. Now, what about the blue? So I wish here to be in blue. But unfortunately, nothing is coming. Why nothing is coming? Because again, back to the options. In the options that we've seen here in the options, what is not mentioned by SAP and which is very important, this pop-up applies to this particular worksheet. If I go to this one and come to option, the apparently same pop-up applies to this one. So there is a missing element in the title saying these options applies to the open worksheet. That's really missing. And what is currently missing is that for the other blue one, currently the options says apply dynamic formatting, but the dynamic formatting sheet, which is this one here at the bottom, is currently not mentioned. Therefore, there is no color. Now, if I say, yes, apply dynamic formatting from the add-in perspective from the definition you will find in SAP IBP formatting sheet, now, all of a sudden, it turns yellow, but I want it blue. So if I switch to blue, let's say, for instance, just the cell and say I want it to blue, Okay, back to here. And now my yellow turns blue. Okay, which is not good. And this one turns blue like I want because I want it to blue. Now, the next steps is to, how can I have this different color according to worksheet? It's very easy. You right click on this one and you duplicate it. You do a copy of it, or you manage with the control key, whatever. You create a copy and say, this one, I call it yellow formatting, whereas this one, I call it blue formatting. And now I polish my work. So I say blue. So blue also for the header. Let me finish that. So let's say I want this blue. Here I want a lighter blue, a very light blue, and the top of the row will be the top of the row. Yes. So the left part of the row will be the same blue. Okay. So that I have blue header and row and light blue. Whereas in the yellow, I want this one to be yellow, dark yellow. Say this one. The same for the column header, and for the color, let's use now a nice light yellow, not too bright. So now I have a formatting for yellow. I have a formatting for blue, which apparently are good. Currently, the yellow is not applied. Why? Again, because setting options. We have currently this worksheet again, which is not named as formatting options for this particular yellow worksheet data. But here now, because I've changed, it has disappeared. I will say I want the yellow for this one. And it will be yellow. And whereas for the blue, I say I want the blue. So the same applies here. I go to the options and say for the display, I want the blue formatting. And now you have a wonderful worksheet, a wonderful template, which has selective color depending the worksheet, because the options are selectively selected for each individual worksheet. So this applies to the options, and that's what I wanted to explain you today. Just what can we do more? So we can control the formatting of headers and cells, data cells, for a number of conditions which are given by SAP, like non-editable, editable, default format for member cells, and blah, blah, blah. So some options which are anyway given by SAP, so no chance to do something else for those ones. You just apply them or not. You apply them or not, and you decide the priority. Okay? And whenever you apply a formatting like here, what you can do is to selectively say, I want this to apply, for instance here, I want this to apply not to the full cell, but only to a number of elements of the cells. See, I'm double clicking. And here comes a pop-up where you decide what to apply from this. What you see is what you get concept. Say, for instance, I just want the background color. Background color, here it is. Okay, so meaning that I only want the light blue. So in other words, if I transform that to percentage, that's not going to be applied. It should not be applied by the logic. So that was the blue formatting. Let's go to the blue and let's see if I'm right. It works. So this is still not percentage. Why? Because in this relevant blue formatting, I've said, this light blue, it's only the light blue I want as a model to my template. Okay, and let's say here currently it's all. That means everything you would set here will be applied to the header of columns. And here I wish to have something visible, like the text is labeled and even in bold. Control C, Control V, so that I have the same for header and column. For row and column. Refresh. Wow, we are getting to the perfect display. I'm kidding, of course. Now, let's go further down with the other options that we have. So we have so whatever was changed by the user can be highlighted in a different color the time until the next save. Okay, that you know, it's pretty standard. It's in all the SAP standard templates. Now, let's play a little bit with this last section, which is a conditional formatting based on the content of the cells. Okay, and because we are in a member property formatting, so we can create specific rules for the row or the column management. Okay, and let's say, for instance, I wish, still in my blue, I wish whenever this is actual quantity year -1, I want this to be, say, a different blue. Actual my year -1. So to do so, I would come to the row, because it could be also, yeah, I could, let me come to the row. I say apply a specific formatting, and here add a member. Whenever you add a member, you have to first apply to define the condition to which it applies. So here, in my case, how do I define my conditions? I can define this is due to an attribute value, due to a key figure name, due to a month, due to whatever you can see in the list. Let's say I want to apply a condition where the key figure, and now I see the different value of the key figure. Okay, this is the dimension, this is the member value of this dimension. And here I say actual year -1 will be the condition. I can add furthermore. Let's say, for instance, for the 3 year minus something. Now I've got the conditions which applies. Okay, and whenever it's valid, whenever it's valid, I wish here a different blue to be even, let's say, orange, light orange, applying everything from that cell to the targeted key figure, targeted cells. So let's see that. Back here, refresh. Now I should have those 3 lines applying a light yellow, orange. But I made a mistake. Why? Because I've said row priority to column. So the column is at the bottom and has taken over the setup. So 2 ways to do that. I can switch, and now the row is at the bottom, and that should normally be last applied. Therefore, this is the winner. It is the winner now, but I've forgotten to mention the management of the color for those header, which I can do also. So when you open one conditional formatting, that applies for the data cell and the label. If you don't want the label, I mean the header to be colored, you unselect everything. And therefore, the one coming from the top will be kept. Let's see that. Already much better. We see now it is better. But also the actual quantity, which was not mentioned, has disappeared. Oops, sorry. Has disappeared. And that's because this one applies. This one applies. And therefore, let's say here, no, don't play any color. I don't want you at all. Or you can directly here key in enter none. It works also. And I should have a slight difference. If I'm not mistaken, let's see that. Anyway, doing a formatting is always, and here is the result, doing a formatting is always a back and forth, doing testing and trying. And now I have a nice display which is conditional, meaning that controls the color of that. Okay. And by means of this, you can open key figure, let's say mention in white the key figure which are inputable versus the one which are only in output, for instance. You have a full grade of formatting. Back to the formatting, just to conclude this, this short video. So you've seen that I've placed a conditional. I wish to have in orange only the one which are actually or -1 for customer number 2. Okay, a different color specifically for customer number 2. So in such case, I come here, and in this row, I edit. And now instead of adding another value, because it's not a key figure value that I want to add, it's another condition, I say add a group. Okay, the group is this one and this one. And for this one, add a condition, say, now I want the customer, now the value of customer, and this is for customer 2 only. And here the result is, should normally be the result. And we see customer 2, okay? Between 50, whatever is between 50 and 100. So here, just to check if it works, you can play, say 52. Yeah, it's green. Okay, let's see that now in the blue. Don't forget always to refresh. And now we see that, yes, the conditional formatting from Excel has taken over, has been replicated in the worksheet, in our template, and perfectly works. Thanks for watching. Don't forget a like or a subscription makes my day. And see you soon with a new episode about Optimizer. We will spend probably 4 or 5 episodes just on the topic of Optimizer. Bye now.